So here we have a new feature in GageList. It's this clarity icon here on the left-hand side. And the first thing we really want to look at is the journey of the certificate. How does the certificate first enter into GageList? That's where we kind of want to start with. So we'll go ahead and click this new icon here, and we'll click the email setup. And the email setup will allow us to add as many whitelisted emails as we need to for each CalLab vendor that we have. And so if we drill down even further, we can see how these are built. We just choose the name, and then we configure the name for the email address. Once we've done that, from the CalLab's perspective, it's as easy as sending it to that whitelisted email and just pulling in the certs they would normally send over via email. So we'll go ahead and hit send. And then as we're working through our demo, those certificates will start to work in the background and Clarity will start to process those. One other thing we can do here while we wait as well is show you how to upload these manually. So if we click the add button here, and then we can click right here to upload our files that we want. So I'm going to grab a few here to upload, and then I'll click add. So now we can see those are working right now, but we have a few that we can review and go ahead and take a look at. So I'm going to click this one right here to bring up the preview screen, and then I'll click it one more time to drop into the full view. From here, I'm going to go ahead and move this slider bar over and zoom into the certificate a little bit so we can examine exactly what it's pulled from and what exactly we want to confirm. So the first thing we want to check is the unique identifiers, how it found the right gauge to attach it to. So here we have the control number, the LT0157 number. We can see it's located right here, and it accurately found it. And it also got the serial number, the DL3, and then the 276 serial number, as we see as well. So we know that we're working with the right gauge. The next thing we want to look at is the as found data and if it's within specifications. On the form here, we can see that it arrived within specifications and no adjustments or repairs are required, and it was returned within specifications. So those are accurate. It also was able to pull in the name of the calibration laboratory and put the calibrated by field populated with that data. It also was able to grab the due dates and the calibration dates. We see March 18th, 2026 and March 31st, 2027 accurately recorded. The gauge status was left as active, and it also was able to pick up the things like ambient temperature and humidity in the room. So we can see all those were recorded there in our custom field that we set up. So now that all of that looks great, we're going to go ahead and click Approve and Next. Now that we've actually created a calibration record by just reviewing the data that Clarity has set up for us, let's go ahead and see how it was stored in GageList. We're going to go make our way to our gauges, and we're going to go find that 128 gauge right here, and we're going to take a look of how it was recorded. So we're going to go down to the calibration history at the bottom, and we're going to click on one of the calibration records that we just did there. So as we scroll down, we can see it attached the certificate that we were just looking at to the calibration certificate right here. And then down on the bottom right, we have a new badge where we see Clarity here. If we click this, it'll give us some more context about the calibration record that we just recorded. So we can see the file size of the certificate, how many pages it was, and here we actually see the AI model that was used to parse the data via OCR technology. We see this one was an OpenAI ChatGPT 5.2 model. Also the date that it was added and created. We see also that the due dates were accurately transposed, so this looks pretty flawless. We're pretty much good to sign off on this one. One more thing before we look at the ones that we just emailed to us. Let's go ahead and take a look at our settings and Clarity settings, and we can show you just how flexible this tool can really be. So here is where you pick what gets extracted and what doesn't. You have some general fields here in the calibration, and you can choose which ones you want to extract or ignore. You also have something called prompt assistance. This is a pretty powerful thing. This allows you to add context and additional instructions to the LLM prompt schema that's already in place. You'll see this become really important as you build your custom fields. For instance, we created one called environment conditions, and we told it, look for environmental conditions such as temperature, humidity, pressure, and to summarize all those things into this one field. And like we just saw with that record previously, it worked flawlessly and extracted it just the way we wanted it to. We're really excited to see our customers go in here and start playing with this because we think there's just so many possibilities, and we're really excited to see what you guys come up with. Let's go ahead now then and go back to our inbox And all of these should be ready for us to take a look at. And we could see just in the time that we demoed this and showed you how it works, all of the certificates are ready for our review. So let's go ahead and click on one. And I'm going to click one that is completely, if we can get one that's completely handwritten like this one. And then let's see how it did with something like this. So again, we want to make sure that those control numbers and serial numbers are accurate and we're attaching it to the right gauge. And we can see the MWL263 is accurate. And even something that was handwritten in a more condensed way that is a little bit more hard to read was still accurately transposed, for which we see on the 09220 serial number that we see right there. The as found and as left data and the gauge falling within specifications was accurately recorded as well. This one was in a very different format. This one just was a checkbox with a pen, and as you can see, it was able to distinguish the context of that. It also found the name of the calibration company, just like before, and the due dates. This one had a due date of August 19th, 2024. And it's really impressive because you can see, even when it's handwritten and even a little bit hard to read, Clarity didn't have an issue extrapolating that data. And then up here, where we have an abbreviated August 2025, it was able to parse that as well and default to August 31st. It automatically defaults to the end of the month, but again, with that prompt assistance, you can customize that to whatever arbitrary date you essentially want. Everything else was recorded accurately. There were no environmental conditions on this certificate, so we can hit approve next. But before we do, we can tell Clarity how it did. Since this one did a really great job, we'll go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If there is something that we could work on or do better on, you can hit the thumbs down, and then it'll give you the opportunity to send a short message about like what we can improve on in that instance. You can also toggle between this condensed view and a full calibration view of your record if that's what you're more comfortable with. But let's go ahead and click approve next, and let's find one more record that we want to look at to show just how powerful Clarity can be. So this is one that I did want to highlight as well, because this one is a little different than the other ones that we just saw. It has a mix of handwriting and printed text. As you can see, the control number is both printed and handwritten, and it was accurately picked up with the CCL 128. It also was able to detect the serial number, as we see as well. And the as found and as left data is recorded again a little bit differently. This one shows just in text, receive condition, and tolerance, but it was still able to accurately deliver those passing results. It found the company who calibrated it. And then it also found the calibration date and the next calibration due date. It's actually really impressive because even though they're just printed on the page here, this one has something a little different. It shows due dates for the calibrated standards that were used to calibrate this tool with. But Clarity is smart enough and has the context to know what to do with these, so it doesn't get tripped up by any of these other dates that could be on the page. It was able to accurately detect the due dates that were relevant to our gauge and accurate to what we need to record. It also was able to detect, again, the status and the temperature and humidity of the room. So we'll go ahead and click approve and next on that one. So thank you so much for taking this walkthrough with Clarity with us. We're really excited to see what you guys are able to do with this and all the different ways you're going to be able to set up your prompt schemas. We'll go ahead and turn the meeting back over to Serby now.